Hi, my name is Pastor Gene, and this is my wife Shayna, and this is our baby Ari. I wanted to take a moment to welcome you to At the Table with the Herndons, where we take a moment to share and break bread together, cook some delicious food. Many of the recipes so many people have asked us about, we're going to share them with you, and we're going to answer some spiritual questions and just have a very good time. So we welcome you and thank you for joining us. Today we have such an awesome two guests here. They are the greats. We have Chase, gone through the great, and then we have Candace the great here with us today. It is so awesome to have you guys here. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
This is our first show, so we are super excited. We're doing a game day show. And so many of us know coming up here shortly, there will be the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter what sports you're into, whether it be baseball, basketball, it really doesn't matter, college sports. Game day sometimes can be very intimidating to some people. And we have some recipes that my wife and I, we love and we want to share with you guys. We're going to be making a honey lemon pepper fried chicken wings. We're going to be making a pickled shrimp. We're going to be making my candied bacon deviled eggs, and we are going to be making
pineapple apricot glazed sausage.
kielbasa sausage,
It's
pineapple
a
glaze.
showstopper.
Everywhere we go, people ask for that one.
Yes.
So we're going to just have a good time. You guys, as you know, the whole format here is you can ask questions, and we will kind of just share from our heart different things. And my wife and I, we're going to cook some stuff for you, and we're going to break bread together. All right. The first thing we're going to start with is our fried chicken wings. As Emerald used to say, I don't know where you get your chicken wings from, but where I get mine from, they don't come seasoned. What I like to do is I like to take some packets of Sazon from Goya. Depending on how much chicken you have, you want to just determine the package you use.
I think we have 12 pieces of wings in here, if
That's
I'm not
correct.
mistaken.
And when we cut them down, it'll end up being about 24. Then I personally like kosher salt. I have my house seasoning, which is made up of a bunch of different things. If you make a request on our website, I will send you the recipe for my house seasoning. We use garlic powder. One of the reasons why I don't use garlic salt is because you can't control the amount of salt you put in if everything you use is garlic salt, garlic powder, onion powder. You want to be careful to always use the powder and not the salt so that you can control how much salt you actually put in your food. Just so you understand. Now this is seasoning salt. And again, I use seasoning salt because I can gauge how much salt is actually in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the chicken wings down to size. You will notice in here that there is 2 knuckles. If you feel it with your fingers, you can actually feel the 2 knuckles, one on each end. But you want to just put your knife right between there and go down. And that's the knuckle there. And then the same thing here, you can kind of feel. These little deals right here, some people like them, some people
They're
don't.
so good fried. I love them.
But I'm not that big of a fan of them. You always, whatever amount of or type of chicken you use, whether it be thighs, breasts, whatever you use, you always want to make sure that they're the same size. Otherwise, when you go to cook them, they won't cook evenly. And if you're doing different types of pieces, you want to make sure that you cook similar pieces together at the same time. Does that make sense? Yes. And one of the keys to doing any of this is to make sure you have a very sharp knife. Most people are afraid of very, very sharp knives. The truth of the matter is, most accidents happen because the knife is not sharp. So you always want to make sure you have a real good knife. And a good knife is worth its weight in gold.
So where do you guys pick up your chicken at?
Just any grocery store. One of the things I'm always somewhat concerned about is when I buy chicken, I kind of look at the skin. And you see how the skin's kind of thin? It's kind of opaque here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times you can see some of that genetically modified stuff. The skin is almost like leather. It's real thick. And when you see that, that's just a turnoff for me because it doesn't cook well. And chicken tastes strange to me. So I try to get organic chicken. And like I said, you can always tell by looking at the underside of it. There's kind of a thinness to it, an opaqueness to it. And that's kind of how I do it. And so what we do is once you cut all of your segments up, you got your flats and then you got your drums. And so you're gonna put all those into your dish. One of the reasons why I take and put all my seasonings in a bowl separately is because once you got chicken in your hands, you don't want to cross-contaminate and touch stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this is all for this chicken. And so what you want to do is just liberally season this up. Like I said, I don't know where you get your chicken from, but where I get mine from, guess what?
They don't come seasoned.
You really want them to begin to take on the color and the seasoning. Okay? Since my hands are all chickened up, would you take some of that buttermilk from me, Vic? Pour that in. So I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but we're repping our favorite football team, which is the LPCU Lions. Go Lions. They're not in effect yet, but we're calling those things that are not as though they are. And Life Point Christian University will have its own team. So you want to put enough buttermilk. You don't want to put too much because you don't want to dilute the seasoning, but you want to put enough so that it coats. And you want to allow that to marinate for at least an hour, possibly if you can, about 3, 4, even as much as 6 hours. You can even leave it overnight if you want to. And all that's going to happen is the buttermilk and the seasoning are going to continue to soak in the wings, and they're going to get more delicious and delicious as they sit. We are starting, it's called Elephant in the Bedroom, the Playbook. We've been doing this series, I don't know, for 5, 6 years easily. And every year we tackle different subjects, things that everybody knows but nobody wants to talk about, stuff that the church has been curiously silent about, some of the very tough issues concerning sex, sexuality, marriage, relationships. If you do not have a church and you're looking for a church, come spend some time with us. I think you'll be blessed by this series. It gets pretty deep and we get pretty real about it. But I mean, you know, like it's in this day and time we're in, don't you think people need to hear truth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they need to know
understand.
God's way of dealing with things, because God does have a specific way of handling every situation in our lives.
And they can get our book on the website as well,
That's right.
if they want to order the book and
You
read
can go
it.
to theelephantinthebedroom.org and you can pick up your own copy of the book. You can even select, if you want me to sign it, you can select in there as an option to sign it, and I will be more than happy to do that for you.
Well, come see us on February 10th.
Pastor was talking about how the husband has the vision and how his priority is to create the steps, create the goals for the family. With that being said, how do you as a wife continue to take guidance and correction from your husband without letting the familiarity of your relationship get the best of you or get in the way of that?
I think the biggest thing for a wife in a situation like that is trust. To trust your husband that he has your best interest at heart, that he has the family's best interest at heart. And I think that trust should guide you in everything, you know, interaction wise. So if there is correction that needs to be brought, or maybe it's even that you don't quite understand the entire vision or where you guys are going and it's not clear. I think trust is huge in a relationship, and then also communication plays a big part as well. You know, your husband loves you, so you trust him, and you know that if he is correcting or there's something that you guys need to talk about, that you know it's coming from the best place possible, and you can then, you know, eliminate the familiarity portion of it and that type of thing. So I feel like trust is number one.
There may be times where God will reveal something to you that it may not be clear yet to everybody, but he's not going to really take you a direction and your wife not know. I mean, there's that partnership that you guys have to work together. And so I consult with her on everything, because how can two walk together? All right, so we're going to get started on our pickled shrimp. And so there's a lot of prep work that goes into this, but it's a fairly easy recipe once you get it down. So you take a red onion. One of the things I do when I get down to this nub, I push it over this way. That makes it more stable. And so you want a whole red onion.
And honestly, all the prep work is so worth it because it's so good.
It is very good.
It's so good.
What's your serrano chili? If you don't like heat, you can take the seeds out. Most of the heat is in the white part here and the seeds. So if you cut the white part and the pith out, you pretty much cut quite a bit of the heat. I always leave it in. But like I said, if you're highly sensitive to heat, then, you know, you can go ahead and take it out. Here's about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, minced. You can never have enough garlic as far as I'm concerned. You know, if you're out on a date, and you're not married to that person, but you're out on a date together, you might want to hold off on the garlic. But the truth of the matter is, if everybody's eating garlic, as much
doesn't
garlic
matter.
as you can bring to the party,
If you didn't like garlic or I didn't like garlic,
Deal
wouldn't it be a deal breaker? Yeah, I don't think we'd be married right now.
it would have been a definite
Sure.
deal
Like if
breaker.
he didn't like garlic or I didn't, it wouldn't have worked. So
And then you have dill, which you want about 2 teaspoons of dill. And so your dill goes in. This is parsley. Now there's 2 types of parsley. There's an Italian flat leaf type of parsley, and then there is this curly type. So I kind of take off the stems. It's just a rough chop.
I was just gonna say, and it's nice because a lot of these ingredients you already have in your fridge already, so you don't need to like go out and do a whole shopping haul just to make this one dish. You know, everybody has onions and parsley and garlic on hand, so it's just a nice way to use up all the ingredients you already have in your house.
All right, so we're gonna need a little bit over a cup of lemon juice. So I kept the squeezed lemons. They've already been squeezed. And we're just gonna cut them up, and we're just gonna throw those in there as well. Okay, here's a little tip. If you want to get the juice out of a lemon, if you don't have a lemon juicer and you have a pair of these, you place this on the inside, and then you squeeze it, and just continue to, and there you have another at the table quick tip.
So tagging along with Candace's question earlier, if it came to a point, or early on in your marriage, when it came to either bringing correction or sowing the vision or telling the steps, how do you manage, keeping your cool with that?
I think one of the important things that people have to understand is this: agreement's everything, right?
Sure.
So how can 2 walk together unless they agree? So if she's not in complete agreement, then I'll wait. And I keep casting the vision, and we keep talking about it until we get on the same page. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's basically saying you're stepping down to her level for a while to bring her up.
I don't know that it's stepping down. Revelation is one of those things that a lot of times you have to be patient with it. And so being patient gives you the ability to wait and to understand and to discern that everybody in every area, I mean, there's things you're going to struggle with.
Yeah.
I'm putting Old Bay seasoning in, and I use a tablespoon. So I put 2 tablespoons in, and then after you put 2 tablespoons in,
Yeah, just a little more.
because I don't know where you get your shrimp from, but where I get mine from, they don't come seasoned. And so then we've got our spicy mustard, which is a coarse ground mustard, and I usually add just 1 tablespoon of that. As you can see, I just put 2 in there. And then what you want to do is you want about another tablespoon of salt, half a tablespoon of pepper, half a cup of lemon juice. You want to add to that another half a cup of apple cider vinegar. That in. And then you need a half a cup of olive oil. And you pour that in. You want to mix this up.
Can you smell that?
Yeah.
Get yourself 3 pounds of shrimp. I particularly like the Patagonian shrimp. The challenge with Patagonian shrimp is they're already pink. See, one of the telltales of shrimp being cooked is it turns pink. So this is already pink. And we get the ones that are already shelled and deveined. When you do shrimp, you want to get the vein out, which is all along the spine there, and they already cut it open for you. And you want to leave the tail on. Believe it or not, the tail part makes a big difference when you cook it in its flavor. So you never want to pull, and if you get shrimp, I wouldn't buy them already cooked or already cut up and all that kind of stuff. Take the extra time to do this. It makes a huge difference. So now you got your 2 pounds of shrimp. They are peeled, they are deveined, and tail on, okay? And then you're gonna take them. You want your water to be almost like seawater. So you want to wait till your water comes up to boil, because when you put salt in first, it's harder to bring it to a boil. Never miss your opportunity to add flavor to anything you're cooking. This goes in, and you want to set a timer. Babe, would you do that for me? Set a timer for exactly 2 minutes.
We wanted to ask you, what was the biggest barrier or anything that was blocking you in your marriage?
I would probably say the biggest thing would be that I was already in ministry and she wasn't. Trying to articulate the pains that come with ministry, and the difficulties and the challenges and the emotion, just all the nuances of being in ministry. I think that was the greatest curve we had to come, because I'm used to it, so I'm already dealing with it. But you can tell somebody, because we had many conversations about it, but until you walk through it, until you live it, no words. Dry it all, and then you want to stir it up. And now it has to be done while the shrimp are hot, because what will continue to happen is it'll continue to absorb all those flavors into the shrimp, and you will find that that's where the pickling process begins to happen. And so now we just set this in, and you just put this aside and let it sit for about 30 minutes to an hour. You can put it in the refrigerator. This is a great dish that you can make the day before and then bust it out for your party. The longer it sits, the better it tastes. Just for all you fellas out there, this is important for y'all to know how to cook. Because just like they say, food is the way to a man's belly, food is also the way to the lady's belly as well. And women love a man that can cook. And interestingly enough, in biblical times, men actually did the cooking. So for all those that are slightly chauvinistic, thinking that women are supposed to do all the cooking, that is an unbiblical perspective. Holla at your boy.
There you have it.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish up our pickled shrimp. Our pickled shrimp's been sitting for about an hour or so. And so we're gonna go ahead and pour that into our serving dish. And so what I like to do is place our serving bowl for our sauce right here on the side. Shayna is going to create the sauce.
AKA the sauce queen. I love a good sauce, you guys. The pickled shrimp is perfectly fine the way it is right now, but just to add something a little bit extra, just to make it extra delicious, we're gonna make a garlic and chive aioli. So what you're gonna need is you're just gonna need some mayo. And what I do is I take out maybe about a half a cup to 2/3 of a cup. And then I'm just gonna add to this just a little bit of lemon juice. I'm not even gonna use all of this, maybe like about a teaspoon or so. And then I'm going to use about 1/4 of a teaspoon of lemon zest. It just adds just an extra zing. And then we're gonna add our chives. This is about a tablespoon. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of garlic, because you can't have an aioli without garlic. So I'm gonna add about a 1.5 teaspoons of garlic. Then just a little sprinkle of salt. So I don't know where you get your mayo from. Don't come seasoned.
Come on now.
And a little bit of pepper. And then we're just gonna incorporate that all, mix it all up. I would suggest when your guests take their shrimp that you tell them to put some of their sauce on the side, because you definitely are gonna wanna double dip on this. And I'm just going to scoop it into our little bowl we have right here. And there you have your garlic and chive aioli for your pickled shrimp.
You won first.
Yay! Don't eat the tail. Eat yours too.
Cheers.
Oh, they're gonna do it at the same time.
And so there you have it. You have pickled shrimp.
Wow, that's super good.
See, it gets you, right? Like it just hits you. You can taste everything.
All right. We're super grateful to have you here with us at the table with the Herndons. We have enjoyed cooking for you, sharing our family recipes from our house to yours. We would love to hear your feedback. Place your comments. If you have questions and you would like to have us answer those questions in our next episodes, you can actually place your questions and or comments in the comment section below, and we will do our best to make sure that we respond to those and try to answer any questions that you may have. We also want to make sure you know that if you don't have a home church, Stonepoint Community Church, located at 4445 West Olive, Suite 151. We are a home for you. We would love to have you, love to have you fellowship with us. And so
If you guys would like to purchase our book, The Elephant in the Bedroom, you can go to our website, www.theelephantinthebedroom.org, and purchase your book. Buy 10 copies, give them to all your friends and family. It'll be a blessing to you.
we'd like to thank our special guests, the greats, Candace and Chase. And they are so awesome. We're glad to have them here with us to break bread with us, fellowship. We sure enjoyed their company, and we loved having you guys here with us as well. So we will see you soon. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Now, the apricot glazed sausage, I'm telling you, is a absolute showstopper. They're not worried whether I'm coming or not. They're worried about whether or not we're bringing this.
Drop it off.